The Chiefs are almost a touchdown favorite, 6.5-point spread. Kyle, I know that this is a game that you'll be monitoring for several reasons. One, you're a Mahomie, and two, you also are the producer of the Red Reigns podcast. In your expert opinion, how do you see this game going in week one?
Well, I'm interested to see what Kansas City's offense is going to look like because it is revamped as all can be. I don't know how they're going to integrate Juju Smith-Schuster as like a yak guy, but Kelsey's still the main guy in the middle. I think Mecole Hardman could be someone who is, a speed type of receiver that allows them the deep option. How do defenses scheme against the Chiefs this year? There's so many unknowns with the Chiefs, and I'm interested to see specifically how they do it. I have the faith that it's going to work out. They have the best quarterback in the NFL and the greatest offensive coach in the history of the NFL on their side. I'm just so interested to see how the Chiefs offense is going to look come into week one. And the good news for them is that the Arizona Cardinals have the worst cornerback room in all of the NFL. Now, they may also have the best safety tandem in all of the NFL, and they might have a safety trio now because it looks like Isaiah Simmons is going to play some safety for the Cardinals this year. So Jalen Thompson, Budda Baker, and Isaiah Simmons, great in the middle, and they have absolutely no corners who should be starting in the NFL. It's going to be really interesting to see how that Chiefs offense looks against the Cardinals.
James, do you think Kyler Murray watched enough film of the Chiefs this week to be able to be ready for this game?
I think the Chiefs are going to go through some growing pains. I mean, you can't just lose a guy like Tyreek Hill and try to replace him with like three other fast dudes. And that's not a shot. Like they still, like you said, have Travis Kelce. It's still impressive. But I like what Kyler always does at the beginning of the year. It's just one of those things, pre-Call of Duty Kyler. Obviously, he won't have D-Hop right now. But I think that offense is prolific enough with Rondale Moore and his college target in Hollywood Brown that they can get a lot of points up on the board and get ahead of any mistakes that their Chiefs have made.
Obviously, I know what the Chiefs are, but I look at the Cardinals. I kind of look at their season last year, and it might be disrespectful to say it. I think they were a flash in the pan. I think that they're going to be one of this year's biggest fraud teams, and they're going to come back down to earth. I have no faith in the coach, and I think that Cliff Kingsbury, despite the extension, I kind of feel like he's still going to be walking on eggshells around that building, because if the Cardinals don't have a successful season, I have to think that front office, that ownership group has to be looking in a different direction. I mean, Steve Keim, too, for what it's worth, has been in that building for a long time. So who knows how much time longer he has if this Kyler thing doesn't really work out. Obviously, Kyler's locked in. Kyler just got his deal, so he's going to be there for a long time. And now I think the Cardinals' next mission is to surround him with pieces of the building that will amplify him further. I think last year is going to be the peak under the Cliff Kingsbury administration. And I've had Cardinals fans say all offseason that, watch, if we had D-Hop, things would have been different against the Rams, despite the ass-kicking and worst playoff game of any quarterback's career. I would say that without D-Hop, against this Chiefs team, against Andy Reid, who coming off bye weeks has a lot of success in his career. Well, he had a whole offseason. Does it not count as a mega bye week? I think he's going to be ready to play in Arizona. I think that the Chiefs are going to roll. Kyle, what say you?
There's an interesting point about the Cardinals that you brought up, which is Kyler Murray got a 5-year contract extension. You know who else got 5-year contract extensions? Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim, for some weird reason. The Arizona Cardinals gave everyone an extension, despite the fact that I have no evidence that proves Cliff Kingsbury is a good coach or a bad coach. He's just kind of in the middle. I also learned the most amazing stat last week, which is that Rondale Moore last year, his average air yards traveled per completion, so yards in the air per pass, is like 1.7. They basically just ran all screens with Rondale Moore last year, and like 75% of his yards were yards after catch. So Arizona just only runs screens with Rondale Moore. Obviously, Hollywood Brown's in the offense for the first time. It's going to be really weird to watch how that one plays out for the Cardinals. And like you said, I don't know how the Chiefs defense is going to look this year. You never know how the Chiefs defense is going to look. One year they finish top 10, one year they're the worst team in football. So maybe it's an even year. So the Chiefs will have a top 10 defense this year, but you never know how that one's going to look. And I think Kansas City's going to win. I don't know if they cover or not, because there's just so many unknowns about both of these teams going in. So I'm going to stay away from that one altogether, but I'm going to play the probabilities and say that the Chiefs will beat the Cardinals because the Chiefs might still be the best team in the AFC, and Arizona's going to be fighting for that last playoff spot come December.
To clarify, I think they win, don't cover. James, what's your prediction?
I want to point out real quick, that was the most football guy like thing I've ever heard you say, Juju, isn't the offseason just one big bye week? That's like such like a big statement. I'm going to stick with it. I think the Cardinals and Kyler Murray can outshoot the Chiefs offense. And the question marks on defense are there. I do think their edge rush got a lot better with George Karlaftis coming in. I think that dude's going to end up being a monster, but I just think Kyler has this one. I think it's going to be a fun game. I don't know what the over-under is, but I'd take the over just off of dumb brain.
All right, guys, you probably noticed this segment's a little different, not just Kyle and I, but we also joined by a guest, James from Boda. James, we need you to drop all the obligatory plugs. That way people know where to find you.
Hi, well, thank you for having me. You can find us everywhere at Boda Sports, BOTA. Instagram, TikTok is the biggest ones. There's also a Twitter, but it's really not worth them. I'm going to be 500% honest about it. Yeah, you can find all of our stuff everywhere just by searching Boda Sports.
Okay, guys, find that below in the bio. Leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. From Juju Talk Sports and Kyle Ledbetter. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you on the next one.